All right, so I promised I was going to do a walk around video of the car. I just got back from the DMV a little bit ago, trying to work out the registration and the insurance information. I ran into a little bit of a problem, but I talked to a supervisor. Hopefully they're going to get that issue resolved, but I just got the car back, got it washed. I didn't want to do any kind of short video or anything without having the car washed. I am going to wax it here in just a little bit. I'm just waiting for everything to kind of finish drying, but anyway, so this is the car. It's a 1993 Skyline GTR, as many of you know, and it's got, the service records indicate that it has about 89,000 kilometers on it, which is about 55,000 and some change miles. But the gauge cluster inside the car is switched out to a Nismo one because the odometers and everything in Japan only went up to 180K speed, so a lot of people switch the clusters out for 260K. But yeah, so the exterior is wine red. It's the paint code AH3, which is actually one of the more rare colors for this car. There's maybe only like 400 and something made in this particular year in this particular color. So I really like the color. I mean, a lot of people kind of asked because my truck is a similar color, but I definitely like this color. The wheels are work wheels. They're Stanch Magics. I believe they're 18 by 9.5 plus 18. I'm not positive on that, but I'm pretty sure that they're plus 18s, wrapped in Continentals. Don't know if I'm gonna keep these or not. I can't say that I'm like super huge on these wheels. If any of you know me, just not exactly my style, but they may get switched out here at some point. But tires are basically brand new, so I am gonna keep them, keep the tread on them. Like I said, they do look good, but I'll probably switch them out for something different. So walking around the car, you know, the car's old. I mean, the paint, I would say, is probably in an 8 out of 10 condition. It's really good. It's obviously not perfect. It does have its, you know, its flaws, but I'm sure that it was probably repainted at some point in time, given how good the condition is. Normal wear and tear on the car, kind of everywhere, but, you know, overall, it's in really, really good shape, which is part of the reason that I chose this one in particular. So I guess I'll just show you guys some of the stuff that's not perfect on the car. The trim pieces, as you can see, kind of chipping off there a little bit. You know, the trim in some spots, like I said, the worst spot is probably right here on the rear. You can see that that's coming out, but I am gonna have these retrimmed at some point. It's kind of expensive to actually get the trim. Some of these pieces can be upwards of $1,000, so I'm not really gonna be in a huge hurry to get those done. Like I said, some discoloration here on the trim there, but you know, no big deal. So the car is actually sitting on gray coilovers right now, so it's low, but it's not super low. If any of you know me and know my style, like I said, I'm not, you know, super huge on stance, but it looks a lot lower, I think, in pictures and video than it actually is. I've had no troubles going over bumps or anything like that, so no issue there. And this is an original N1 front bumper. Has the vents, the lip, everything else. So it is an original N1 bumper, which is pretty cool. All right, so we'll go over the interior. So first thing, Recaro Millenniums. I like the seats. I don't like the color. The color of the car just looks really weird with the red of these seats. So I don't know if I'm gonna have them reupholstered and keep them, or I may just try to sell these and then get another set of seats in here, probably a set of Brides, if anything. But you know, they're nice seats. They definitely hug you in, and you know, they're not uncomfortable by any means. So moving on, Nardi steering wheel. It's probably gonna need rewrapped. It's definitely got some wear and tear on it. It's really hard to see, like, all these imperfections, but you know, it's a good steering wheel, has a good feel to it, so you know, I can't really complain about that. As far as the rest of the interior, the carpet's actually in really, really good shape too. I'm kind of wondering if the carpet wasn't replaced at some point just because of how good a condition it is. Now these floor mats are in pretty rough, you know, rough shape as you would expect, but you know, the rest of the trim and everything is in pretty good shape. I mean, this speaker I knocked over the day it came, knocked it right off of its holder there, so I'm gonna have to deal with that. But yeah, the rest of the interior is pretty cool. Very basic. If any of you have ever ridden in a 90s car, I mean, you know how simple they are. Just sit down here for a second. So the weirdest thing, I think, is turn signals are right here, obviously on the right, which is awkward, but there's nothing else on the column here, which is not typical. So all the controls are up here. You got your flasher there, FM, AM for the radio, and then you have your wiper controls here, rear wiper right there, which is probably gonna get deleted at some point. Other side, Get your high beam, and then you have your light controls here. This button's getting stuck. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this. This is getting stuck. I need to maybe get this cluster removed and just see if there's something behind it, or maybe there's just a bunch of crud in there that's just kind of sticking. So the high beams might get stuck on if I ever decide to drive it at night. Rest of the dash is in pretty good shape. No radio in here right now, which, I mean, I'm not really concerned about having music in here at the moment. More concerned about just hearing the car, making sure there's no issues. Typical dash bubbling. You know, there's not really a whole lot you can do about it. I may try to see if I can get that fixed at some point, but you know, for right now, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, given what amount of time is left this year that I'm gonna be able to actually drive the car, I'm not super worried about that. But matching Recaro Millennium for the passenger seat. It's pretty comfortable. Like I said, I overall have no complaints about that. Small rear seating area with the original rear seats. Again, not huge. If you were a bigger person, you're probably gonna have a tough time getting back there and being comfortable, but for the most part, not too bad at all. So, tell you what, let me go grab the key. Start it here really quick. Garage area, jet ski back there. And for all of you asking about the RX-7, there's what's left of it for right now. I don't want to talk about that. Anyway, original GTR key. Pretty cool. A lot of the cars don't have the original one, so very happy about that. Another cool thing about Japanese cars, you do not have to have your foot on the clutch to start it. Starts right up. So idle's nice. Like I said, I just drove it today. It's been driving great. No issues there, you know, really with you know, the clutch, no misfires, nothing like that. So pretty happy about that. Pop the hood here really quick. The hood. I'm sure many of you guys know. RB26. Get the holder in place here. I'll have to hold this with my arm. Alright, so RB26. You can see that fan spinning. I do need to get a fan shroud for that. But as far as upgrades, for what I know, again, you can see the purple for the ready coilovers, strut bar, split fire, ignition coils, I believe they are. I think they're split fire. Aftermarket intercooler piping, Boots radiator. It's kind of hard to tell, but intercooler's upgraded. HKS intakes. Tomei brake master cylinder stopper right there, green. So a couple upgrades, nothing too crazy. I was told that this car was tuned by BR in Japan, so that's something I'm gonna have to look into just to see what the deal with the tune is. But the first thing that I plan on doing with this is getting a Haltech in it along with a wideband, just to make sure the ARs are good, get a solid tune on it, make sure it's running good. Like I said, I'm not, you know, chasing any huge power numbers or anything like that at this point. I just basically want to make sure the car is running correct. There's no issues with it. The battery at some point is going to have to get relocated. I'm going to do a catch can set up there in the front, so the battery is eventually probably going to go to the rear. But other than that, it has a ton of new parts on it. A lot of this is, I know a lot of the tie rod ends, I think all of them actually were replaced, so a lot of good stuff. I mean, had a fresh oil change, coolant flush, a lot of new stuff before it came, so I'm definitely very happy about that. But yeah, it's running good, and haven't had an issue with it yet. Like I said, I drove it back the other day and drove it today to the DMV to try to do the VIN verification and all that other good stuff, so it's running pretty good. But aside from that, that's going to be it for right now. I'm going to try to do a driving video once it's actually titled, registered, and all that other stuff. The insurance is already done, so I'm good there. But I am going to try to do a driving video whenever the car is good to go. And I am going to be doing a video letting some other people drive this car. So some of you, I'm sure watching this, probably know who you are. We've already talked about it, but I definitely want to let some other people drive the car just to get in the driver's seat and kind of share the experience. So anyway, that's going to be it for now.